Good evening, and welcome to the Intermission Show here at the Newmarket International Festival of One-Act Plays. I'm your host, Tom Pearson, and with me today is Dale Sheldrake. Dale is the director of UGG, and the first play ever?
The first play ever.
Awesome. Tell me, Dale, what attracted you to coming to see, to being a part of the Newmarket International Festival? Who first brought you here?
First, I think it was Bruce Williamson, who's a friend of mine, and I directed Bruce in a couple of plays. In fact, one of them was my first experience at the One-Act Play Festival. I directed a play called something in the Polar Bear. Help me with that, John. Warren and the Polar Bear. That's what it was.
Warren and the Polar Bear, I recall.
Bruce was instrumental in getting me in to direct that play.
Awesome.
So now it's all his fault this time too.
And Bruce was I believe he was best director last year as well.
Was he?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, I'll give him a run for his money this year.
So, what was your first? What really started you out in theater? What was your first experience in theater? Where did it start?
As a director?
In any connection to theater, like what first got you interested in actually in live theater?
Okay, I'll tell you. It's not a short story, but I'll try to make it short. I was working in England with a lot of theater people there doing television stuff, and I wanted to get into directing television in Canada because I lived here. I was only there on business, and I was telling one of the guys I worked with, it's a tough nut to crack, and he said, "Oh, you should try directing theater. You'd be good at it." So when I came back, I approached another festival in Toronto, and ultimately directed a play in their festival, and the play won the People's Choice Award.
Awesome.
So it was the best play. So then it was kind of hooked.
I guess I got you excited, eh?
I thought so far I like it.
So did you grow up in England or?
No, I was just there on business. I'm a Canuck. I'm a Canadian.
And whereabouts are you from in Canada?
I'm from Smithville, Ontario. You know Smithville? Not Smiths Falls, because everybody always thinks Smiths Falls. They always say, "Oh, near Ottawa." No, it's not near Ottawa. It's in between Hamilton and Niagara Falls. It's a tiny little farming community.
So this year's play, what attracted you to that? I mean, I guess there was a number of different plays, and I guess that drew you somehow. What about this play excites you?
This play, well, the fact that it's a comedy, actually, because I've done a number of plays and I've never done a comedy. I just always end up in drama somehow. So that was attractive. The fact that Jim Goggin wrote it, because I'd done his last one, and he's a very experienced comedy writer.
And he's from Hollywood.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or he's based in Hollywood now, right? So. Yeah,
he had a show, I think, through Disney or somebody a long time ago that was on for quite a while.
And it was still running 7 seasons last year. I don't know about this year, but
it probably is.
Still running, so yeah.
So I was attracted to the fact that it was a comedy. I was attracted by the fact that I hadn't done any theater in a couple of years because of the pandemic. So I was feeling the itch.
And I've read this play. It's actually quite.
It's very funny.
It's very funny. I mean.
And I actually, if you want full disclosure, I said to Bruce, "I'm too busy. I'd really like to do a play, but I'm too busy." And he sent it to me, and I thought, okay, I'll read it, I'll hate it, and I'll tell him no. And I loved it. So, and at that point, it was like, damn, now I got to do it because. Now I really want to do it because I love the play, and I've got to scratch that itch and do some theater.
So of all the theater that you've done over the years, what would you say is probably your most memorable theater moment?
of something I've seen or something I've
Any
been involved in?
any theater moment that I guess had an effect on you.
Yes, I'll tell you one in particular. I saw. I don't expect too many people will know who Stephen Burkoff is, but Stephen Burkoff is a bit of a legend in theater in London, England, and I worked with him a few times, and he's a very intimidating man. So there was an occasion where 3 of his short plays were on at the Jermyn Street Theatre, and my friend who first told me to direct theater took me to see these plays. And it was 3 of Stephen's short plays. The director had been fired, and then Stephen came and directed them himself. And one of them was called Gas. And it's not a pleasant play. It is 3 characters who are, it's based around the Holocaust. It is 3 actors who are basically in a gas chamber, and they're dying. It's about a 15-minute, 20-minute play. And the choreography that Stephen came up with for these 3 people blew my mind. Like, when I could not fathom how they were able to do what they were doing. They through the entire play, through all the dialogue, they kept moving around and through each other. So they were just a mass of 3 people, and their arms and legs and everything just kept moving and turning and crawling and climbing for the whole 15 minutes, and it was so gripping. I'll never forget.
You were hooked.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget it. Yeah. I told him after, like, I've never seen anything like that. I wanted him to tell me how he came up with it. But
And that's the theater. The theater is theater people are passionate about theater, and these are the reasons why they get hooked, like yourself.
Very,
So your opening night, is your play on opening night?
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, from the wings, but I think we're the first play on opening night, so we're the opening play.
Awesome. Is there anything else you would like to share with our studio audience before we wrap up here?
Come and see UGG. It's going to be awesome.
UGG, coming to a cave near you.
UGG. Yes. Yeah. And I'll tell you, the other thing I really loved about it was, about the play itself, is that it's so creative, because the premise is fantastic. The premise is cave people looking for a better way to tell a story that they've told over and over and over again, and they discover theater. So it is the first play ever.
Awesome.
And I think I thought that was just brilliant. Like, I wish I'd thought of it. I wish I'd written it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dale Sheldrake, director of UGG and the first play ever.
Thanks very much, Tom. Enjoy. Break a leg.